Welcome back to the Chatting Average. My name is John. That's John over there, and also Adam. We've got a great show planned for you today. A lot going on. Cal Raleigh hasn't hit a home run since we talked about him.
Of course. What? We just had to say something.
I don't know what's going on there exactly, but he hasn't hit a home run. And it's not concerning me whatsoever because he's got, 33 of them right now, but he's got 3 hits in his last 5 games. Little bit of a midsummer slump, all right? It's okay. We're all right. He'll catch back up. He's got 32 home runs, by the way. Sorry, not 33. Still leading the league, obviously. We'll get into that a little bit later, but we do have a lot to talk about today within All-Star voting opens today for the final rotation of starters, as well as good weekend of baseball. A few different quick topics we'll hit on. But boys, how was your weekend? Anybody do anything fun? John, are you looking forward to your birthday?
I am. The big 2-1 on the way on Friday the 4th. I'm ready. I will be responsible. But going to a Braves game, it seems like it's a Spencer Strider start. That's just what I'm thinking. It's better than Bryce Elder.
Much better than Bryce Elder.
I watched the most recent Bryce Elder start, the 13-0 loss that went past midnight. My scorebook, which is out of view, got completely soaked through and ruined because it poured rain for an hour. But it was fun. It was a good weekend. How about you, Mr. Busek?
I also had a good weekend. I'm going to start the show with a little bit of a trivia question. I don't think either of you guys are going to get it, but I'm going to share with you that I had to help one of my friends out here in Grand Junction move yesterday. He was moving out of his apartment and into a house. And as payment for helping him move, he, first of all, bought my lunch, which was nice of him. But that was not the main payment. The main payment was an item which he gave me, and I would like both of you to guess what that item was.
It was personalized paperweight.
A paperweight. John, what do you think?
I think he gave you your weight in hickory smoked bacon.
You were both incorrect. The correct answer was a pair of snowboarding boots.
Yes. Not the bacon, but close enough.
That's like 1 in every 4 Western Slope white elephants.
Correct.
Like, I feel like everyone's got a pair. Like, it must suck to do Secret Santa over there.
Shall we get into the baseball?
We shall.
We could. We'll start the American League once again because the White Sox won a series. However, they played in the interleague, so.
So it sounds like we're not starting in the AL.
Let's start in the American League. Let's start in the American League, anyways. I don't want to lie to our viewers.
You don't? I do.
I also do. I try to lie to you guys constantly.
The Tampa Bay Rays and the Baltimore Orioles, all 3-game sets this weekend across the entire league. Game 1, Baltimore wins 22-8. Tampa Bay scores 6 runs in the top of the second, and then everything falls apart. Sanchez has a 2-run home run, 4 RBIs on the day. Jackson Holliday has a home run. Gunnar Henderson has a home run. Corby Mayo's got 2-run home run, 4 RBIs on the day. Big day. That's not it, is it?
Kobe.
Did you say Corby?
Kobe Mayo. I was thinking about Connor Norby. We'll talk about his team later. The Athletics and the New York Yankees. No, wait. Game 2 of the Rays and the O's.
Oh my God.
7-3 win for the Rays.
God.
Arrondo, 2-run home run. Diaz, a 3-run home run. Walls and Theis have 2 RBIs. 5-1 win in Game 3 for the Orioles as they take the series. Laureano is a 2-for-4 day with 2 runs, and Sanchez 2-for-4 with an RBI. Now the Athletics and the Yankees. Yankees take Game 1 3-0. Jazz with a home run, and Bellinger and LeMahieu each have RBIs in the day. A 7-0 shutout win for the Athletics. In Game 2, Rooker has a home run, Kurtz, Nick has a 3-run home run, and Sears goes 5.2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 4 Ks. 12-5 win in Game 3 as the Yankees take the series. Jazz homers again. Judge has 2-run home runs, making 30 home runs on the year, and Bellinger goes yard for a 3-run shot. Toronto and Boston. What a fun series. Toronto wins Game 1 9-0. Jimenez goes 3-for-4, 3 RBIs. George Springer 2-for-5, 2 RBIs, and Berrios goes 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 8 Ks. 15-1 in Game 2 for Boston. Willie Abreu with the 3-run home run, 4 RBIs. Cedane Rafaela, a 2-run home run, and Romy Gonzalez has a 2-run home run as well. 5-3 win for the Blue Jays as they take the series in Game 3. Barger and Vladi each have home runs. Minnesota and Detroit. Detroit wins this series here, but Minnesota's going to take the first game 4-1. Buxton homers. Brooks Lee is 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs, and David Festa 5.2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 6 Ks. Game 2, a 10-5 win for the Kitties. Carpenter a home run. Torres a 2-run home run. Green a home run. McKinstry a home run. Correa a 2-run home run. That's just kind of added on there. And then Game 3, a 3-0 win for Detroit on Sunday Night Baseball. Kerry Carpenter has a home run and an RBI triple, and Riley Green has a home run. Not the country singer, but the baseball player up in Detroit. And then Skubal, 7 innings pitched, 1 hit, 13 Ks, because he's the greatest pitcher in the league right now. Seattle and Texas. We called this series the Midsummer Classic. Seattle and Texas, all 3 games finishing in extra innings. 7-6 win in 12 innings for Seattle. They each score a run in the 10th, and then at the top of the 12th, Mastroboni with an RBI walk-off single. Game 2, a 3-2 win in the 10th for the Rangers. Seager with the 2-run home run, and then at the bottom of the 10th, Simeon with the RBI walk-off single. 6-4 win for the Mariners as they take the series in Game 3 after 12 innings. Mitch Garver with a 3-run shot in the 12th inning to give them the lead.
Starting from west to east in the American League, the Houston Astros currently leading their division. They have reached the 50-win threshold, 50-34. They are 6.5 games up on those Seattle Mariners, who are in second place in the division, holding on to a wild card spot currently. The Angels, 1 game below 500. They're 8.5 out of the division, 2.5, just 2 out of the wild card. The Rangers 2.5 out of the wild card, and then the Athletics 17 out of the division and 10.5 out of the wild card. In the Central, the Detroit Tigers with 53 wins and 32 losses. They are tied for the best team in baseball. They have an 11.5 game advantage over the Cleveland Guardians, who are also 2.5 out of the wild card at 40 and 42. The Twins 12.5. The Royals 13.5, and the White Sox 24.5 out of this division. This one looks like it's the Tigers all the way. In the AL East, the New York Yankees 48 and 35. They lead the division, but a pair of wild card teams out of the East as things stand right now. The Tampa Bay Rays 3.5 up in the wild card race. The Blue Jays 2.5, just 2 up in the wild card race. And then the Red Sox 8 out of the division, and the Baltimore Orioles 12 out of the division and 7 back of the wild card race.
I'd like to talk about the Red Sox for a second, and one of the things that is really, really going to need to get better for them is their starting pitching. Walker Buehler in the entire month of June, which he had 5 starts in the month of June, he went further than 4 innings in 1 start. He had 3 or more earned runs in every single start. His total pitches in any game was 67 or higher. And the 67 pitches were in a 2-inning outing. He has an 11.07 ERA. He went 1 for 3 which I know wins losses in a pitcher for pitchers are not great, but the losses matter a lot more for a pitcher than the wins do because that meant he was qualifying for them. This was really not a good month for Walker Buehler, and he even admitted it himself. But for someone that you made a concerted effort to put right behind Garrett Crochet in your starting rotation, and the rest of the people you have are Brian Bayo and Lucas Giolito, Richard Fitz. You really need to find someone to address this because it can't just be Crochet and then 4 innings where you really hope the bullpen holds. Because this is also an offense where your top performers have been really streaky. Remember Christian Campbell when he had 1,000 OPS to start the season? He's in Worcester. All your best players are completely transient. Romy Gonzalez has one of your best OPSs on the season, only second behind Rob Refsnyder in the starting lineup for Sunday's games. Romy Gonzalez and Rob Refsnyder are platoon bats. This has to be a really, really, really big deadline for the Red Sox, and they're starting behind with Rafael Devers gone. They are already well behind the starting block, and I really don't think that they're going to recognize that they need to either buy really high or say this isn't our season. I think they're going to retool instead of rebuild, and it's going to bite them.
I would make the argument that they have already signaled organizationally that this is not the season. I think they did that with the Rafael Devers trade. Right? It was always ambitious to go all in on this season when you have your big three prospects in Meyer, in Roman Anthony, in Christian Campbell, who are all breaking into the big leagues this year. Normally guys take a year or two to get their feet underneath them. Word to Jackson Holiday. I think it was always going to be a little ambitious to say that this was the year for the Red Sox. And yes, to be clear, some of their free agent signings have been awful. Walker Buehler, I think a lot of folks in Red Sox Twitter are openly talking about DFAing him at this point. He's a sunk cost. Like, you're better off just not having him a part of the organization than trying to fix him, which is crazy to think about from where he was, just 3 years ago or something like that. But this is a dead team, right? The Red Sox aren't even treading water at this point. They've sold off their best player. I think continuing to talk about them as if they were a team that are going to push for a playoff spot this year is kind of a fool's errand.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot easier to act like they could make an addition at the deadline and maybe make a play for a wild card spot if Bregman hasn't been out since May, and even if you still trade Devers, whatever, you traded Devers, but Jared
Bregman, by the way, I think it's looking increasingly likely that he won't be back next year. And if he's not back next year, at what point do you start having a conversation about, do we flip him at the deadline and try and see what we can get as a return?
Right. Your best player in the lineup right now, other than Willie or Abreu, is Abraham Toro.
Yeah. Not a good place to be.
Not what you thought going in.
No.
Really quickly, though, if we're still on the AL East, how about the Tampa Bay Rays? I know that they dropped the series to Baltimore pretty roughly, but this is not where we thought they'd be at all. We didn't think they'd be this close in the division, and the players that they have contributing for them, I mean, Brandon Lau, Yandy Diaz have been pretty good at the 2-3. Jonathan Aranda is really lighting it up with the bat. Junior Caminero has been a great revelation for him. This is a team that you feel,
especially.
I mean, this is a team that at 47 and 37, and in I'd say pretty good position to take second in the AL East. I think it's really not anyone else's race unless the Blue Jays drum something up. This is really this is something we were worried about, was that the Rays just had some of the pieces, but they weren't ever going to develop any of the other ones, and it's really starting to round out for them.
Yeah, the Rays are in a really good spot right now, and it's crazy to think that they're how many games over 500 at this point? They're 10 games over 500. and they're actually underperforming their Pythagorean win-loss. Like, they're playing worse ball than they're supposed to based off of their run differential on the season. So I think this is not a fluke Tampa Bay Rays team. I think this is a legit Tampa Bay Rays team. And we can dig into it a little bit further if you guys want to, but I want to say Junior Caminero is awesome, and I really want to see him in the home run derby.
That'd be
True.
fun. He's got 20 home runs on the year. It'd be fun to watch. Also,
It would
does
be
he
very
have to
fun
do
to
the
watch.
bat flip after each one, though?
I think
The
he
home
I
run
think he
back
should
goes-
change bats after every one.
Yeah, ball back goes into the air. Taylor Walls is handing him his next bat.
Well, the shame is that he can't, as ESPN would put it, change plates like Adley Rutschman did.
Oh, yeah.
That's still so funny to me. That is still so funny to me.
Anyway,
Anything else in the American League?
I think we should move on.
See, I think that all the storylines that I had found for the weekend and for the week had been in the National League. So let's go to that National League. The New York Metropolitans, they're terrible right now. They're terrible. And they get swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Not something you want to hear when you're trying to be the best team in the league. 9-1 in the first game. Reynolds, a 3-run home run. Tommy Pham has 2 RBIs. And Mitch Keller goes 5.1 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts. 9-2 in game 2. McCutchen, Reynolds, and Hayes each have 2 RBIs. And 12-1 in game 3 as O'Neal Cruz homers twice. Pham and Reynolds homers. O'Neal Cruz, the next future Los Angeles Dodger. The New York Mets get... outscored 30-4 in 3 games by the Pirates. The Padres and Cincinnati play 3 in Cincinnati at Great American Ballpark. Game 1, a 8-1 win for the Reds. Spencer Steer has 3 home runs, 2 solo shots, and and 1 2-run home run. Nick Martinez goes 8 innings pitched, 1 hit, 6 strikeouts. That's just one of the no-hitter warnings that we got through the MLB app this weekend. 6-4 in game 2 for the Padres. Arise a home run, Cronenworth a 2-run home run, and Sheets a 3-run home run, and a 3-2 win for Cincinnati in game 3. Bottom of the 9th, Spencer Steer with the RBI single to tie, and then Benson with the RBI single walk-off. The Phillies and Atlanta, 13-0 win for the Phillies in game 1. Turner, Castellanos, Otto Kemp, Schwarber, Turner, they all homered. Turner homers twice, whatever. 6-1 win in game 2. Atlanta takes this one. Murphy with the grand slam, and Spencer Swellenbach goes 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, 12 Ks. 2-1 win in game 3 as the Phillies take the series. Phillies scores both runs in the top of the 5th, and Ranger Suarez, who we'll talk about a little bit later, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 8 Ks. Colorado and Milwaukee, 10-6 win for the Brew Club in game 1. Churio, a 3-run home run, and Yelich and Terang each have 2 RBIs. 5-0 win in game 2 for the Brewers. Ortiz, a 2-run home run, and Terang has a good day, going 3 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Colorado does salvage the series with a 4-3 win in 11 innings on Sunday. Orlando Arcia has a home run, and in the top of the 11th, Farmer an RBI single to take the lead there. Miami sweeps Arizona, 9-8 win on Friday night. Stowers and a home run, Heriberto Hernandez home run, and Otto Lopez. Otto Lopez home run, 2-run home run. 8-7 win in game. 8-7 win in game 2 and final in 10 innings for the Marlins in game 2. Lopez, a 2-run home run, and then in the top of the 9th, Hernandez, a sac fly to tie, and then Agustina Ramirez, an RBI single for the walk-off win. Not a walk-off win, just a top of the 9th go-ahead run. Game 3, 6-4 win for Miami. Stowers, 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs off the bench, and Lopez, 2 RBIs.
John, just out of curiosity, which Lopez is that?
I think Otto.
We'll start in the NL
Gotta
West.
be,
There is
right?
only one team in the National League with over 50 wins on the season so far. That, to no one's surprise, is the Los Angeles Dodgers. They are 53-32. They lead the West by 7 games over the San Diego Padres at 45-38. They are clinging to a wild card spot. Excuse me, they are a game back of a wild card spot. The Dodgers, the only team in the West currently in playoff position. The Giants, a game and a half out of a wild card spot. The Diamondbacks are a sinking ship at 11 games back in the division and 5 games back in the wild card. And then the Colorado Rockies get a participation trophy. The Chicago Cubs.
I don't know if they do.
The Chicago Cubs playing very poor baseball right now, 4-6 over their last 10. They have yet to reach the 50-win mark. They are 49-35. They are holding on to a 2-game lead over the Milwaukee Brewers, who are playing very good baseball right now, 8-2 over their last 10. That's put them in a wild card spot. The St. Louis Cardinals have fallen to third in the division. They're half a game behind the Brewers. Meanwhile, the Cincinnati Reds, who seem to be turning it on at the right time, they're over 500 at 44-40. 5 back in the division, 2.5 back in the wild card race. That's a team to watch. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh Pirates, 15 games below 500. In the NL East, the Philadelphia Phillies at 49-35 are leading the division. The New York Metropolitans, they have a 1-game advantage in the wild card race. They're a game and a half behind the Phillies in the East. The Braves, 10.5 out of the division, 8 out of the wild card picture. The Marlins, 11 out of the division, 8.5 out of the wild card race. And the Washington Nationals, who have been overtaken by the Marlins, 35-49. They're 14 back in the division.
The New York Mets were so bad this weekend. They were playing the worst statistical offense in the NL. This is I'm citing a lot of this from a article by Will Aldrich after Sunday night's game. So shout out to Will Aldrich for all this. The .234 batting average for the Pittsburgh Pirates, worst offense by that statistic in the National League, on pace for nearly 100 losses. Mets were outscored 30-4. Mind you, Paul Skeens did not appear this weekend. None of this was Paul Skeens. Not to mention Lindor, Brandon Nimmo, Juan Soto, and Pete Alonso, the offensive engine of the Mets. 2 for 15 at the plate on Sunday. 2 for 15. Not to mention, the Mets end this month 12-15. The road record is 19-25. This is not good. They called a players only meeting, which you don't do when the season's going well. This is like the equivalent of NFL teams putting the ping pong table in the middle of the locker room and also then just taking it out. Like, this is not a sign of good things happening. And you don't exactly have, a lot of runway to keep yourself in lockstep with the Phillies. You're only 1.5 games back, and that's only going to get wider if you continue a 3-7 over your last 10 games pace. You can't do that. And I hope that, for Carlos Mendoza's sake, for, their hitting coach's sake, for their entire coaching staff's sake, that they use the All-Star game to reset, because if the second half comes around and Steve Cohen finds out that you're underperforming, gone.
They're 3-7 in their last 10, but I think they're 12-6 or 12 out of their last 16 games are losses. Like that
would be 4-12.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. I feel like the Mets do something like this every year. Like every single season, there's just a big, long losing streak where they turn from contenders for the World Series into a team that is treading water for the wild card race. And it generally has no bearing on how deep they go in the playoffs. But I feel like every single year we have a news cycle like this where it's like, oh, there go the Mets. Don't have to think about them anymore. We will. They'll turn it around. It's going to be a while, but they'll turn it around.
Sorry. They're 3-13 since
that is very bad.
June 13th.
That's bad. It's bad. It's
13. That's one win against the Braves last week.
Yep.
1 win against the Phillies in the series before that. Oh, 2 wins against the Braves last week. So, I don't know.
I've got a question for the class. After
Okay.
watching 3 games of Milwaukee Brewers baseball over this weekend, I have left without any real sense of whether or not this is a real team. So I'm going to ask you guys, do we believe in the Brewers or no?
They're currently 8-2 in their last 10. They're sitting in second place in the National League Central, and a half game up in the wild card. I think that right now everybody is firing on all cylinders.
How sustainable do you think that is?
It's not.
It's not.
However, the way the rest of the National League Central has been playing, there could be a chance that they pace out the Cardinals through the end of the season and somehow make the playoffs.
I could see them
That's
grabbing
true.
a wild card spot.
They're-
The Cubs
they're
are playing
10
very
games
poor
up right
baseball
now.
right now.
Yeah, they're 10 games above 500 right now. All they literally need to do is stay 10 games above 500.
Right. And like, I think you have the pitching staff to be a decent wild card team. Freddie Peralta, Chad Patrick, Quinn Priester, Jose Quintana, and Jacob Mizorowski are your starting 5. Jacob Mizorowski especially has been just insane. And I think you have to make sure of 2 things. One, he gets as much experience as he can out of this season, but you cannot let his arm explode. You cannot let his arm explode. He throws 93 mile an hour sliders. They have DL Hall too, but DL Hall's largely been like. At one point, it was that DL Hall would piggyback because Quinn Priester was locked in at 5 and dive. He's not anymore, I don't think. But Mizorowski.
He's not anymore, which is why I picked him up in fantasy.
Right. Mizorowski, the Blue Springs, Missouri native, by the way, 1.13 ERA. In 3 games started, 16 innings pitched, 19 strikeouts. Just 3 hits. Absurd. And he looks
7 walks.
7 walks. He outpitched Paul Skeens.
That was a game.
Was that
was
because
a sold out game?
Was that because Paul Skeens? Is that because he was a better pitcher than Paul Skeens, or is it because of the Pirates' offense? I don't know.
We can't look back at that game. Just
can't look back at that game.
Happened.
That's out of our purview. Also, I guess shout out Orlando Arcia for hitting a home run. What happened, man? Could have been now. It has to be now. Couldn't have been when you were scuffling with the Atlanta Braves. Couldn't have been then.
John,
No.
John,
you couldn't do that.
Orlando Arcia's 9th inning home run yesterday. 9th inning with 2 outs in the top of the 9th would have ended the game had he not hit that home run. His home run boosts his his season numbers to negative 0.8 WAR, and it raises his OPS plus to 43.
Yeah.
And that look over his past 7 games.
Great. That's great.
His past 7 games, he's got a 640 OPS. I want you to know that for the Braves lineup, a 640 OPS is better than at least 3 of those hitters.
Orlando Arcia has played 20 games in a Colorado Rockies uniform, and his WAR in those 20 games is negative 0.7.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I don't even know.
Other things from the National League Series. Miami gets the sweep on Arizona, which puts them on a W7, which is a fun way to play baseball. They're 37 and 45, so they're fun bad, which is all you can ask for when you're the Miami Marlins.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
I hope they
I think this series says more. I think this series says more about the Diamondbacks than it does about the Marlins, unfortunately.
So game 2 was a fun. I think it was game 2. Game 2 was a fun extra innings finish. To tie the game, they get Dane Myers takes a walk, I think, and then steals second, is initially called out at second, and then, or no, they don't call him out at second. They call a block on Perdomo. He's blocking the bag, so he's safe at second, and then he steals third after a fly out, I think, or a strikeout from somebody. Steals third, is called out, and then there's a review, and it shows that he's safe. And then they get the sac fly like one pitch later. It was a very long ninth inning just to see one guy score.
It's a fun sequence.
fun, though.
They're playing fun baseball.
But I agree with you.
Arizona Diamondbacks are not doing.
Yeah,
Snakes.
I would say, I
Snake's
think this
not
is
alive.
more about Snake's dead.
Snake's in critical condition.
Snakes are on life support, and it's not working very well. The only other thing from the National League is Ranger Suarez. This is just an interesting stat. 5 straight outings of at least 7 innings pitched. A 1.19 ERA in his last 10 starts. That's the lowest ERA by a Philly over a 10-game stretch since, some guy named Cliff Lee in 2011.
Good pitcher. Good pitcher. You thought, I can't believe that the Phillies just keep having guys do that. Like, no. Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola weren't enough. Ranger Suarez needs to do that for us, too. Okay.
And Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah.
My steak's
And
too
then
buttery.
there's that weird stretch where like Taiwan Walker was the best pitcher in baseball too, over the last few seasons. It was
My
weird,
lobster
whatever.
too fresh. My bread too crusty.
Okay, all right.
Man.
I can't do it anymore. My chicken cheddar bay biscuits too cheddary or something.
You want to go to the
into
interleague?
Yes, into the interleague. St. Louis.
God.
St. Louis sweeps Cleveland. Game 1, a 5-0 win for St. Louis as Pedro Pajes with the home run. Alec Burleson with the 2-run home run, and Sonny Gray goes 9 innings pitched, 1 hit, 11 strikeouts, and 89 pitches. That right there is a Maddox. 9-6 win in Game 2. Donovan a home run. Cleveland scores 6 at the bottom of the 4th, but then Contreras and homers. Burleson has 2 RBIs. Victor Scott II has 2 RBIs, and they win it. And then a 7-0 win for the Cards in Game 3. Gorman with a 3-run home run, and Scott with a 2-run home run. San Francisco and the White Sox, or as we like to call them, the Fighting Mickey Doolittles versus the Fighting John Liebers. The Fighting Mickey Doolittles do win in Game 1 with Bailey having 2 RBIs and a 3-1 win, but then a Benintendi solo shot in Game 2 is all that it takes to win that one 1-0 as Hauser goes 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts. Grant Taylor 2 innings pitched, 2 Ks coming in after that. 5-2 win for the Sox in Game 3 as they take the series. They score 4 in the bottom of the 7th to win that one. The Cubs and the Astros taking the bread games in this one.
Bread games.
Bread games.
7-4 win for the Astros. Diaz with the 3-run homer and Cam Smith with the 3-run homer. 12-3 win for the Cubs in Game 2 as Bush, Horner, Tucker, and Suzuki all homer. 2-0 win for the Astros as Altuve has a 2-run shot. That's all that was needed in that one to take the series. The Dodgers and the Kansas City Royals. The Dodgers take the bread games.
Bread games.
5-4 win in Game 1. Ohtani with his 29th homer of the year. Muncy with a 2-run home run, and Ohtani had an RBI triple as well. 9-5 win for the Royals in Game 2. Pasquantino with a 3-run home run, 5 RBIs. Garcia 2 RBIs with 4-for-5 day. 5-1 win for the Dodgers as Kike has a 2-run shot. Will Smith has a home run, and Robleski 6 innings pitched, 3 hits out of the bullpen. The Nationals and the Angels are the last series of the weekend. Game 1, a 15-9 win for the Nationals as Bell homers, has 3 RBIs on the day. Young has 3 RBIs, and Garcia and Lowe have 2 RBIs each. 8-2 win for the Angels in Game 2. Trout with a homer, Newman with a homer, and Gustavo Campero with a homer. Game 3, a 7-4 win for those Nationals in 11 innings. Top of the 11th, Milas. Mias? I don't know. Actually, I'm going to have to find that one out. Has an RBI double, and then Abrams with a 2-run triple.
Well, while John finds that out, I want to point out to you, gentlemen, that the San Francisco baseball Giants are 4-8 since the Rafael Devers trade.
Ugh.
Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh.
You know what two of those losses are from?
the Chicago White Sox.
I actually would like to talk about Grant Taylor.
Please.
Very
Okay.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Millis. Okay. Drew Millis.
We're done
Anyways.
with the White Sox, I guess.
I apologize. I finally found it. Grant Taylor obviously called up 2023 draft pick in the second round. But did he tear his? What did he tear?
Grant Taylor.
Yeah.
Let me find that out.
Was he a? Well, he was the best pitcher on LSU before he got hurt, and then Paul Skeens went. I'm actually the best pitcher in the world.
Correct.
Anyways, very good.
Let's see. He had Tommy John surgery during his. Let's see. 2023 season. He missed all of 2023. It's draft year.
Gotcha. He debuted on June 10th, so he's been in the league for about 20-ish days, or exactly 20 days. So far this season, he's got a 2.7 ERA in 8 games, 10 innings pitched, 2 saved, only 3 earned runs, 10 strikeouts. But he hits like 101 on every pitch. It's something that, listen, we all understand. Our teams all suck. Some of them haven't sucked in the last 5 years. Some of them have sucked since 2018. But like, just to watch, like his fastball velo is 98th percentile. Like I'm trying to find his fastest pitches, but I don't know Baseball Savant well enough. Anyways, he's very good. He's very fun to watch. I enjoy when he gets put in the game. And then obviously he comes in as a rookie in game 2 with a 1-0 lead for 2 innings and shuts down the Giants lineup that had been pretty good throughout the season. Anything else from here? I know we have James Wood up at the top. First player since Bonds to draw 4 intentional walks in a game.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I was tracking that yesterday, and just looking at the list of, I think it was Cespedes Barbecue put out a tweet of the people that have walked 3 times in a game, or intentionally been walked 3 times in a game, and it was a lot of like, oh, this guy's batting in the 8-hole, and the pitcher's up next. You know, like
Right.
it's rare to get walked intentionally 3 times in a game. For it to happen 4 times in a game is almost unprecedented. And with all due respect to James Wood, I just don't think he's not the guy. He's not on Barry Bonds level.
I don't think he's Barry Bonds level. He's been very good. I don't know why they walked.
He has been very good.
Right.
Yeah, that was kind of a head scratcher.
And the thing for me is, yeah, he's very good. He has 5 career WAR, 3.9 WAR just on this season. He's got, but
he's had a very good year.
You're intentionally walking a guy every time he's up, and he has a 165 OPS plus. Like, you probably wouldn't even do that to Judge. Like, you probably wouldn't do that to Judge or like Ohtani or even Cal Raleigh this year. Like, why? Like, he's fast enough, but like, he's the only guy on the Nationals lineup. Is it just because you think you have a better chance of doubling him up because whoever's behind him going to ground into something? But that would be like 4 times is kind of, shocking for me to say this. It's stupid. It's very dumb. And do you think Ron Washington would have done that?
So
I'm going to say no.
No, that's the thing. Also, prayers up for Ron Washington.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Judge has been intentionally walked 18 times this year. He leads the league. Ohtani and Cal Raleigh each have 10. They're second place. James Wood is now 4th with 8.
That's just not necessary, man.
You know what I'm noticing here? No Rockies, Braves, or White Sox on this list. Why aren't they attached to the Rockies,
No.
Braves, or the White Sox, or the
Interesting. I
Rockies?
wonder why.
Interesting. Well, I mean,
I
I
actually
would.
Oh, Michael Toglia has 2.
let's go. Let's go.
Eli, oh, but hey, Bus might win. Eli White has 1,
Yes.
and
Yes. Come
Benintendi
on.
has 1. There you go. So it is Bus. Bus wins. He's got the best player in the league.
Hell yeah.
Other than that, in the interleague, that's kind of all I care about.
I do have a short rant about the Rockies that I want to share.
Sure.
Okay.
John, can one of you set a timer for exactly 1 minute? I don't want to go long on this.
All
I
right,
just
hang
want to
on.
get some thoughts out
I
there.
got it. I got it.
Nope, I got it.
All right. All right.
We're
fine,
racing to
Go.
do a timer.
Go.
So the Rockies this week announced that they are going to make some changes to their front office. And by changes to the front office, I mean that owner of the team, Dick Momford, is going to be stepping back into a more recessed role, and he is going to be handing over some organization control to his son, Walker Momford. Now, obviously, you think, okay, this is just another Momford, and nothing's going to change because philosophically they all operate the same and the team is still in very poor hands. And no, Walker Momford is here to assure you that that is not the case because he's been doing a PR run, just talking to just about every media outlet over the last week. Here are some things that he's highlighted. I want to read a quote here, and I want to read as direct. I'm going to go over my minute, but I want to read this quote directly and don't want to butcher words. Quote, on Walker Mumford on his father, quote, I don't think our vision is different. I think we have very similar vision.
Hmm.
Good start.
Good
Great.
start to the Walker Mumford era.
Great start there. We actually have the same vision, as in we're just gonna suck.
As in we're making a shit ton of money on real estate. What even is baseball? I'm not familiar with it.
Here's like I really hope that Dick Monfort doesn't wear corrective lenses because if he said he had the same vision, that's bad.
All right.
Can I leave the call while we're recording?
Don't do that. Don't do
Hold
that.
on, wait, I got a better option.
Okay, all right.
All-Star game.
All-Star game. The final round of voting for the starters, which is the fan vote, starts today. And you have between now until July 2nd, which is Wednesday, at 12 p.m. Eastern, so 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. bus time, 9 a.m. Mickey Doolittle time.
Mickey
Not
Doolittle
really.
is in DC.
Molly
Yeah,
Doolittle
it's in
time.
Eastern.
Molly Doolittle time. I like that.
We do
Also
have
Molly Gibbs time.
our full National League and American League. Would you guys like to start with the National League or the American League first?
Let's do the American League.
All right,
Let's
we'll
do
do
the
the American
American
League. First base is between Paul Goldschmidt and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. We'll go John, Adam.
I like that.
John, you're first.
Oh, I'm first.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
John.
I want to pull up a stat really quick before I make an uninformed decision, but my heart of hearts is already telling me Vlad Jr. And
Okay.
I'm sorry, like just I like looking for first base. You're looking at offense, 835 OPS versus 768. Paul Goldschmidt he's just there because he's a Yankee. I'm voting
Yes.
Vlad.
I'm also voting Vlad.
I will be voting Vlad for the exact same reason.
Second base for the American League is between Jackson Holliday and Gleyber Torres.
I mean, Holliday's got 10 home runs. Glaber's got 9, but Glaber is just having a career resurgence with his bat. I think this is the year that he gets his flowers. First year out of New York. I'm going Glaber.
I will also go Gleyber, although I really wish Jackson Holliday would start the All-Star game.
Yeah.
I do too. I think it'd be a really good story, especially after how much was made of Jackson Holiday just being kind of awful last year. I'm glad he's getting his legs underneath him. Unfortunately, Gleyber Torres is OPSing 100 points higher than him, so I have a hard time choosing anybody but Gleyber Torres.
It's actually only 99, so.
My sake.
At third base, the starter position is between Alex Bregman and Jose Ramirez. Of course, if you choose Bregman, that means he won't be starting, which is interesting.
I mean, I feel like Bregman played really well when he was there, when he was healthy. But
They have very similar stats, and
right,
Bregman has missed the last month.
right.
Which, so like my thing is like I almost want to vote Bregman, get him as the starter, although that never shows up on your like career accolades. Like
Right.
I was an all-star. But like
Yeah.
him as the starter and then J Ram starts. Like that's all that's gonna
Right.
happen.
I'm gonna say Bregman here, along the same lines.
I'm also going Bregman.
I personally will be dead and buried before I ever support Alex Bregman on any platform, so I will go with Jose Ramirez.
Okay.
Our shortstop vote for the American League is between the Athletics' Jacob Wilson and the Royals' Bobby Witt Jr.
It's got to be Jacob Wilson for me. He's just having a great breakout rookie campaign, and I don't want to say like a feel good story, but it's good to know that the Athletics are going to at least get something out of their complete dismantling over the past 10 years. I'm going to go with Jacob Wilson.
I will also go with Jacob Wilson. Can anybody tell me how many walks he currently has?
Probably like 3. I don't know.
I will look that up. Vamp for time.
Well, who do you want to? He
He
has
has
19. Okay, so he's
19 to
improved.
20. Oh, okay.
He does have
Alright.
19.
Bus. Who you taking?
I am also going with Jacob Wilson. I think Bobby Witt has cemented himself as a top 15 player in baseball. I think he's still having a very good year. Jacob Wilson, however, is having a Herculean year. And I think if this is a sign of things to come with somebody who has the true hit tool of Luis Arias, but also flashes a little more power from time to time, I think this could be a transcendent baseball player.
The catcher position in the American League is between the Blue Jays' Alejandro Kirk and the King himself, Cal Raleigh.
Cal Raleigh. We spent so much time on it last week. I'm not going to labor the point. It's Cal Raleigh.
Agreed.
Yeah, give me Big Dumper.
My thing though is like Alejandro Kirk is hitting 315 as a catcher.
Yeah, he's not having a bad year.
He's having a good year.
Yeah. 39 RBIs so far. Like, obviously that's 30 points off of Cal Raleigh, but whatever. For the American League outfield, Aaron Judge is the league's top vote getter, so he's automatically a starter. So we'll only select 2 here in the American League, and it is between the Detroit Tigers' Javier Baez and Riley Green, as well as the Cleveland's Stephen Kwan and the Angels' Mike Trout.
So Riley Green's going to get my first vote. I think he's just establishing himself as one of the most polished outfield hitters in the game right now, and he's someone that the Tigers are going to build around. Javier Baez had a really, really good spring, but he's already started to cool off, and he's going to continue to cool off. I don't know if I love putting him in the All-Star game, knowing that he's just going to he won't continue to be successful. I know that this is a bit nostalgic, but I like Mike Trout here. I really do. I think for the Angels to just have someone at all is good, but I think Mike Trout, he's still hitting for some power. He's got like a 120 OPS plus, I believe. So he's still a good hitter. If you remove yourself from what he used to be, he's still a pretty good corner outfielder, and I think he'll get my vote.
I am also going with Riley Green and Mike Trout. And my thing is just, I don't know the last time we had Mike Trout healthy at the All-Star break, and I think he deserves one more time as actually being an All-Star instead of being the guy that somehow gets it when he's injured.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly understand where you guys are coming from there, and there was a lot of me that really drew me towards Mike Trout. I also picked Riley Green for transparency, but my second pick is not for Mike Trout. It is for Stephen Kwan. I think Stephen Kwan is having, as he always does, a phenomenal year defensively. I think offensively, his numbers have picked up a little bit. Yeah, the power's not there, but the power's never going to be there in a guy in Kwan's size. I think he's bat to ball has really ticked up this year, and I think he's just having a strong enough case offensively to go along with his phenomenal outfield defense that I think he gets the nod here. Now, that being said, I will not be upset if it goes to Trout. In fact, I'll be happy if it goes to Trout, but I think my vote right now would go to Kwan.
Designated hitter position for the American League is between Baltimore's Ryan O'Hearn and the Yankees' Ben Rice.
Ryan O'Hearn, every day, twice on Sunday. He deserves it. He's finally the hitter that he believed he could be, and that the Orioles have put enough faith in him where this is his year.
Yeah, it's for sure O'Hearn.
All right, to the National League. For first base, it's between the Mets' Pete Alonso and the Dodgers' Freddie Freeman.
Can I pick the Meteor? Like, I don't want to pick either one of these players. And
unfortunately, you are deciding
I
between
have
the Dodger on every single one of these picks.
Right. There's too many Dodgers, but if I don't pick the Dodger and former Brave, should have been current Brave, but former Brave, I picked Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso, 18 home runs. Freddie Freeman he's just such a contact machine. I'm going to go Pete Alonso.
I am also going Pete Alonso. His stats are better.
I will.
And currently, Freddie Freeman is in a slump. So,
yeah, Freddie Freeman is slumping right now, which I think maybe is going to sway the vote in favor of Pete Alonso. But I don't want to overshadow how good of a first half Freddie Freeman had before he started slumping. I think 2 weeks ago, this was slam dunk. He was going to be the starting first baseman. He still has my vote.
For second base, it's between the Dodgers' Tommy Edman and the Arizona Diamondbacks' Ketel Marte.
Bro, get Tommy Edman off this ballot. It's Ketel Marte. He has 1,000 OPS, 305 average. He's still one of the best players at the Keystone. Put him in the game. Don't get Tommy Edman.
I agree. Ketel Marte.
Calling Tommy Edman a second baseman is a little bit disingenuous. I think if there was a utility all-star, I would vote for him. But if we're talking just second baseman, it's Ketel Marte. It's simple as that.
Third base is between the Padres' Manny Machado and the Dodgers' Max Muncy.
Yeah, this is the grossest spot of the entire ballot, in my opinion.
There wasn't a better third baseman like anywhere else, like at all. And I'm sure there probably was, but Dodgers fans.
Yeah.
I'm glad this isn't the whole thing. Max Muncy really turned it around. He started really slow, and I think it was because he started wearing glasses, actually. Like, he really turned around when he started wearing glasses. Correct.
Once he could see the ball, he could hit the ball.
Believe it or not, I mean, Machado's hitting for contact, Muncy's hitting for power. That's pretty much the only thing that's separating them right now. They have 11 points of OPS difference. I'm going to go... This is really annoying. I'm just going to go Machado.
I'm going Max Muncy.
I'm going Machado, and I'm going Machado for similar reasons as I went with Freddie Freeman in first base. Max Muncy was stinky poo-poo for the first 6 weeks of the season. Like, he was genuinely unplayable. And I just, out of principle, don't think anybody that starts that poorly deserves a all-star starting spot. I don't care how much he's turned it around over the last couple of weeks, and he has. He's playing good baseball right now. But with the start that he had, I'm just out on him.
Shortstop position in the National League is between the Dodgers' Mookie Betts and the Mets' Frankie Lindor.
Where is Ellie De La Cruz on this ballot?
Dead.
Ellie De La Cruz is an 861 OPS with a 129 OPS plus. Neither of these players are higher than 774.
Correct, John. But one comes from L.A. and one comes from New York.
Yeah, there just aren't that many
Way the
people in
All-Star
Cincinnati.
You've got to be kidding me. I'm gonna go Lindor here. He's, always been a clubhouse guy. One of the good guys in baseball, and I think he's gonna earn it here. Mookie just isn't hitting. He's not hitting this year, and he's not exactly a crazy defensive shortstop. So
No.
I don't know.
I am also taking Frankie Lindor.
Yeah, I think it's not a stretch to say that Mookie Betts is a poor defensive shortstop. He's playing there out of necessity, not out of skill. Props to him for having the year that he's having, but I think it's Lindor.
Mm-hmm.
Catcher position is between the Cubs' Carson Kelly and the Dodgers' Will Smith.
I'm gonna go Will Smith here, just because Kelly has really cooled off. It's a similar thing. It's a similar thing to Freddie Freeman. He started really hot, surprisingly hot, and it's just kind of fallen off since. Will Smith is a known factor, so I'm going Will Smith.
I agree, Will Smith.
Yeah, it's Smith. This was the
Outfield
easiest spot on the ballot for me.
Mm.
I agree. Outfield is between three. You get three picks from the National League. I'm Ronald Acuna Jr., Pete Crow Armstrong, Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pages, Juan Soto, Kyle Tucker.
All right. I like Acuna here, and I understand he had played since May, right? So smaller sample size than these other guys. 361 average,
so much better.
9 home runs, 18 RBIs, and 1109 OPS. Back in that leadoff spot, he's exactly what you knew he was going to be with the bat. And homerism aside, I don't know how voters are gonna leave him off of the ballot in his hometown, no less. I can't, in good conscience, put Teoscar Hernandez or Andy Pages on this. I'm sorry. They don't. Hernandez and Pages are not playing better than the other guys on this ballot. They just aren't.
Correct.
I think it's Pete Crow Armstrong and Kyle Tucker. PCA is breaking out with the bat. Everyone thought he was just going to be a defensive guy, like the next Billy Hamilton. And he's an 836 OPS is an absolute coup for this Cubs offense because you didn't expect it from him. And then Kyle Tucker is Kyle Tucker. He was Kyle Tucker last year. He's going to be Kyle Tucker next year. He's exactly what you knew he was going to be.
That Abraham Lincoln fuck. Aircraft carrier. We call him aircraft carrier.
We do call him the aircraft carrier.
My issue, John, you're not going to like this. I'm not voting for somebody to start the All-Star game if he didn't start the season. If he missed a portion of the season. My All-Stars in the outfield for the National League are Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, and Juan Soto.
Okay.
I have the exact same ballot as Mr. Sansoni and Acuna, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker. I have the exact same ballot for the reasons that he already stated.
And the designated hitter position is already locked in for the National League as Shohei Ohtani was the league's #1 vote getter. All right, Immaculate Grid time. Immaculate Grid is a 3x3 grid with 9 intersections. You got to match things up, right? All right, so the columns are Kansas City Royals, Seattle Mariners, and All-Stars. Row 1 is the Orioles, row 2, the Giants, row 3, third base, 1 game. I have a Mariner who played third base a minimum of 1 game, and I've got everybody's good old friend Tim Beckham.
That's a good one.
Nobody rushed to do another one.
Yeah, all right, man. Hold on. I'm just trying to pull the grid up at all.
I am also trying to do that.
You guys just
Giants, Mariners.
Sure.
My instinct is Tommy La Stella.
Okay. Fine
Did
with
he
me.
play?
Okay.
He did.
Maybe not fine.
Yeah,
with
he
me.
did. No, he
You
did. He did.
sure?
I'm sure he played for both. I'm positive.
He's there.
Mariner. Did you would have Mariners played third base? Royals playing third base. I mean, what about this guy named George Brett? No. Trying to think of someone
I
that's
don't like the guy we do the podcast with.
Paul DeYoung.
For where? Sorry.
For Royals third base.
I was also looking for a Royals third baseman.
I like that. I think Paul DeYoung is good. He is good.
I was going to nominate Dusty Coleman, but, you know.
Okay.
An all-star at third base. Well, they just had to have played third base. Was it in their all-star year, or is it?
I don't believe so.
I mean, you can always do Freddie
When paired
Freeman.
with
He
the
played third
non-team
base.
category, does not need to be in the same season.
I mean, Freddie Freeman played third base post Chipper Jones.
All right, I'll put him there. 0.5. So we need
figure
Royals, O's, Royals, Giants, and then Seattle O's, and then All-Star O's and Giants.
Royals O's.
All-Star. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Giants All-Star Johnny Cueto.
0.3. John, did you have one?
Orioles Royals. Brett
Okay.
Phillips.
Ooh, I like that.
He was a backup outfielder for the Orioles in 2022.
Interesting.
Yep. Now he's pitching in indie ball.
Of course.
Orioles All-Star. John Means.
Oh, that's actually a good one.
Yeah. 0.8. All right, we need O's, Seattle, and Royals, Giants.
Oh, Seattle. Oh my God. Was it? No. Never mind. I thought it was. Rylan Bannon never played for the Mariners.
Do we have an All-Star third baseman already?
Correct, yes.
You could do Cooper Hummel. Cooper Hummel played one game for the Baltimore Orioles this year.
Did you
And
really?
He played. He made one appearance in left field and then got DFA'd. That got picked up again. Didn't appear. Got DFA'd, and now he's on the Astros.
He's there at 0.06.
Fair enough.
Yep. Not good. What are we missing?
Not good.
We need a Royal Giant. Oh, I thought Dick
Johnny Cueto. Wow, we could have done Paul DeYoung again. Oh.
Oh, darn.
People are gonna think of Jorge Soler, aren't they?
I think the first person people think of is Ryan O'Hearn.
For what?
For Royals Giants.
I thought
Not Giants, excuse me, Royals Orioles.
Or were we doing Royals Orioles or Royals Giants?
We need a Royal Giant.
I'm just all kinds of screwed up today.
That's okay.
Royals pitchers. Oh, you know who could be?
Nori
Yeah. I was going to say Jacob Junis.
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
I remember seeing a clip where I saw that clip recently where he was pitching with the Royals and it bounced off the top of his foot for a double play.
Yeah.
That's why he's still front of mind from that.
Rarity score of 4. Hardest spot on the grid today was Royals Orioles at 52% of grid users. 3 guys. Nope, I apologize. 2 guys wearing Angels hats. 2 guys wearing Cleveland Guardians hats. Brett Phillips is in a White Sox hat. Paul DeYoung is in a Nationals hat. Cooper Hummel is in a Astros hat. And Freddie Freeman is in a Orioles hat. There was no reaction to that. He's wearing a Dodgers hat.
I was going to say,
about
that
to
doesn't
say,
sound
no way, no
that
way.
really does not sound right.
Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Chatting Average. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Prime Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know where else YouTube.
Yeah.
If you're actually at our homes listening to us speak right now, actively, rate us 5 stars.
Shout out to you, I guess. Get out. Yeah. Follow us on Twitter at the Chatting AVG. That's also known as X.
The Everything app.
The Everything app. Anything else, boys?
No?
I'd assume so.
Enjoy the week. Enjoy the holiday on the weekend. And, yeah, we'll see y'all next Monday.
Yes. Next time you hear from us, John Sansoni will be of age.
I'll be drinking a beer on the podcast. I won't.
I don't think that's actually...
I'm not going to do that.
You can do that.
I'm not going to.
I think you can, though.
We record these in the middle of the day. That I'm not.
Well, yeah,
we'll record that one at 9 a.m.
Good morning, everyone. All right.
Yeah. Everybody have a good weekend. Enjoy the baseball. Are they wearing fancy hats this weekend?
Probably.
Yep.
Well, we did a segment about that a couple weeks ago.
Couldn't remember if that was 4th of July or not. But yeah, enjoy the hats or don't, because they're ugly and stupid looking.
They have strings on them.
They're blue. All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.